Hi guys, another home workout for you using the kettlebell this time. So this is kind of a treat for me because I haven't been using the kettlebell for very much more than doing my kettlebell swings. So, but it's a very useful tool, right? Except that because of its nature, it doesn't do quite as much as a barbell would do for you. So I picked up just the one, and this one here is a 12K kettlebell. I'm just assuming that if you guys have kettlebells at home, you probably just have the one, or to my recommendation, you would have bought two, one that is light for upper body and something a little bit heavier for your legs. But let's just imagine that you have the one. So we're just going to use this one here. So I have a few different little run through for you, and because we only have the one kettlebell, we're going to do it on the one side followed by the other side, and they all have 3 exercises, right? So we're going to do 2 kind of upper body lower body mix, and then we're going to do a core one on the floor. So for the first portion, we have 3 exercises. Exercise number 1 is bent over row. So pick the one arm that is going to do the exercise. One leg forward, one leg back. Oh, may I mention that I decided not to wear my shoes in my house anymore because I make a mess. But if you're not going to wear your shoes while doing your kettlebell work, you better make sure that it doesn't land on your foot, right? So maybe don't try this at home. So you're gonna lean forward. You want to have your back as parallel to the ground as possible. I like to use my hand on my thigh and or my elbow to make sure that I can go really low, right? You stick your butt back, relaxing the legs, grab the kettlebell from the floor and pull your elbow back. Elbow back. So I wrote it on your routine. It should be anywhere between 10 to 15 repetition. But let's just say that you have a weight that is really light. Maybe you want to be doing 20, even 25 of those, right? So that's exercise number 1. Then I'm going to place the kettlebell on the floor, staying on the same side, and I'm going to perform some push-ups. So when you do push-ups, but your hand stays on the kettlebell, it's the arm on the floor that works the hardest, right? Because you can't really use the one that is at the top. So this is almost equivalent of doing the push-ups on the one side only. So that would be referred to as isolateral push-up. So one hand on the kettlebell, which might fall, by the way, so you have to be careful. The other hand on the floor, 10 to 15 push-ups. And now to finish this one here, a little bit of cardio, we're going to do burpees. So you come back here, you stand up with the kettlebell, you put the kettlebell down on the floor, you jump back, push up, come back up. You know, you can also step back, yeah? You don't have to do this jumping. So then we turn to the other side, go do the same thing. Bent over row, 10 to 15. We pull the elbow back, squeeze the lats, stretch the lat at the bottom, push up, 10 to 15. Burpees, 10 to 15. And you could run through this one routine a couple of times if you have time. Round 2. So this kettlebell is light enough for me to do shoulder presses, right? Hopefully it is for you too. If it's not, if you refer to my routine yesterday, I use like chili boxes or whatever it is that you can press over your head. So maybe you want to use that to go for your overhead press. Me, I'm going to use this. There's a specific way to hold the kettlebell when you're pressing it overhead. It is more comfortable when you're holding it at the corner and that the wrist falls into this little crack here, as such. So I'm gonna keep it on the one side. I'm gonna overhead press as many as you can, 10 to 15. Let me step back so you can see me better. 10 to 15. Keeping the elbow as close as possible to the front here, all the way to the bottom. So that's exercise number 1. Then I'm keeping it on the shoulder as I do my squat. Hand forward, hand to the side will ensure that your shoulders stay square, and so do your hips. Sit into your chair, stand up. Sit into your chair, squeeze your bum through. That's exercise number 2, front squat. Exercise number 3, thruster. So this is a full squat to an overhead press. Use your legs to throw the weight up. Get the weight back to the shoulder, do it again. Squat, throw. And then we're gonna switch side. So if you're gonna use this, so I have my watch on, maybe you turn the screen of your watch to the other side. Forgive me, or even remove it. It could be damaging. Remember, you hold it on one side So your wrist falls into the other, and it really sits pretty comfortably on my wrist here. Exercise number 1, press up. Followed by exercise number 2, squat. Exercise number 3, thruster, throw. Thruster, throw. So that's the second routine. And you can run through this one here a couple of times or 3 times. I'm a little bit out of breath, so this is going to work really well for your cardio as well, right? Because it's a bit lighter, but then you just keep moving through. Okay, so routine number 3, a little bit lower. We're gonna do this on the floor. We have 3 core exercises, also using the kettlebell, but if it's too much, get rid of it. If you have something that can replace the kettlebell, like a weight or anything, you use that. So Russian twist. I always keep my legs on the floor because I have really strong hip flexors and they always take over, but you feel free to lift your legs off the floor. That's optional. And then we go from one side to the other, 10 to 15. Then the second exercise is a sit-up with a press. So you sit up, you go down all the way, and when you come up, you press with your arms over the head. You do it again. Lay on your back, and when you come up, press over your head. That's exercise number 2. The third one is a double crunch. So you lay on your back, and then you just push, you bring your shoulders up with your knees up. Let me reorganize myself here. Pull in, open up, pull in, open up, exhale up, and also 10 to 15. So you got 3 exercises. So again, Russian twist. You can perform this without the kettlebell. Sit up to an overhead press. And double crunches. And that's that. I hope it was helpful. Have a great night.